Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today's video dives into one of the more fiery and controversial political moments in recent times, one that involves EFF leader Julius Malema, President Cyril Ramaphosa, and even former US President Donald Trump. At the center of the storm is a viral speech by Malema, where he openly criticizes President Ramaphosa's handling of an alleged conversation that took place during a meeting at the White House. According to Malema, Ramaphosa had the opportunity to confront Donald Trump directly on key issues, possibly even criticisms that had been leveled at Malema himself, but instead chose silence. In Malema's words, Ramaphosa arrived at the White House shaking, afraid, and failed to represent South Africa with strength or honesty. Malema went as far as calling Ramaphosa a coward, unworthy of the presidential office. Let's unpack what's really going on here, and why this matters, not just for EFF supporters or ANC loyalists, but for anyone concerned with the image and sovereignty of South Africa on the global stage. Malema alleges that during Trump's presidency, discussions about South Africa's land reform policies and Malema's own radical economic positions were held behind closed doors, without his presence or his input. He suggests that Ramaphosa had the perfect opportunity to correct false narratives or defend South Africa's sovereign policy decisions but instead chose appeasement. The suggestion here is that Ramaphosa was intimidated by Trump, something that Malema says would never have happened if he were in that room. "I will never be intimidated by America and Donald Trump," Malema said at a rally, referencing this missed opportunity. According to him, if Trump had questions about land expropriation, about socialism, or about Malema's role in the EFF, then Malema should have been invited to defend himself directly. Instead, he claims, the White House meeting amounted to gossiping about him behind his back, a form of political disrespect that he believes Ramaphosa should never have allowed. What's at stake here is more than just Malema's pride. It's about how South African leadership asserts itself on the global stage. Malema's point taps into a broader sentiment held by many citizens, that post-apartheid South Africa still too often bows to foreign pressure, especially from Western powers. Whether it's IMF conditions, US foreign policy expectations, or investor confidence narratives from Europe, many feel that South Africa's leaders are still overly deferential to outside interests. Now, let's look at Ramaphosa's track record in foreign diplomacy. He has generally taken a more conciliatory, measured approach to international affairs. His engagement with Donald Trump was no exception. At the time, Trump tweeted about alleged large-scale killing of white farmers in South Africa, sparking outrage in the country and across the continent. The South African government officially rejected Trump's claims as inaccurate and inflammatory. But critics like Malema believe Ramaphosa didn't push back hard enough, especially face-to-face. Malema's attack on Ramaphosa plays into a recurring theme in his political strategy, casting himself as the fearless alternative to a leadership he paints as weak, corporate-friendly, and compromised by global capital. Whether he's taking aim at the ANC, multinational corporations, or imperialist powers, Malema consistently positions himself as the voice of defiance. It's also worth noting the symbolic weight of the figures involved. Donald Trump, often seen as the embodiment of right-wing populism and white nationalism, remains deeply unpopular in many parts of the global South. Criticism of Trump is widely accepted. So when Malema claims he would have challenged Trump directly, he's also staking a moral and ideological claim, that he, not Ramaphosa, stands for African dignity and sovereignty. But let's also interrogate Malema's own motives. Is this genuine patriotism, or political theater? The EFF leader has mastered the art of spectacle. His speeches are often fiery, controversial, and designed to dominate the news cycle. Accusing Ramaphosa of cowardice, especially on a global diplomatic stage, is bound to generate headlines. And it did. Still, many South Africans might agree with Malema's central point, even if they don't align with his party. There's a frustration among the public that our leaders too often play it safe, fail to speak boldly, and seem more concerned with pleasing Washington or London than serving their people. In this sense, Malema's outrage resonates beyond EFF voters. This moment also highlights a deeper tension in South African politics, the divide between diplomatic pragmatism and radical assertion. Ramaphosa represents the former, a technocratic, cautious, globally integrated approach. Malema represents the latter, unfiltered rhetoric, unapologetic nationalism, and ideological clarity, even if it invites backlash. So what should we make of all this? Is Ramaphosa truly a coward on the global stage, or is Malema oversimplifying complex diplomatic realities for political gain? One thing is certain, Malema's comments have reignited debate about how South Africa should carry itself internationally, especially in confrontations with superpowers like the United States. This also ties into the broader question of African leadership in a post-colonial world. Who do we admire more, a leader who plays by global rules, or one who challenges them? Do we want diplomacy, or do we want confrontation? Malema's critique of Ramaphosa invites us to consider these questions, not just about one meeting at the White House, but about the soul of our foreign policy as a nation. At the end of the day, Malema knows how to stir the pot. He's leveraging a moment that many have forgotten, a quiet diplomatic meeting with Donald Trump, and turning it into a battle cry for African pride. Whether you agree with him or not, there's no denying that he's once again pushed the conversation forward. So, what do you think? Was Ramaphosa too soft during his US trip? Or is Malema just looking for a fight where there was none? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth political commentary and analysis from across South Africa. Thank you for watching. See you next time.